Job obviously, it's a little bit tedious, but we've got to take the engine cover off, we've got to take the pipework off, the airbox out, this accessory box tray out, the battery out, that tray out, and that'll give us good access to where we need to be. So let's get stuck in. Now I think we're going to be lucky because just removing those two covers that I mentioned and the engine cover, I think we can get pretty good access to the bolts we need to remove. We are going to be doing a couple of things today. So one of the things we're going to be doing is removing this pipe. So the pipe, this is the EGR recirculation pipe. We're going to be removing these two bolts here, they're Torx bolts, and then down in here you can just see, if I remove that, just at the bottom of the pipe again you can just see we've got two 8mm that come out, and I've got an extension so I can get into those, so that is going to be easy enough. On the other side I think it's even easier. You've got the air conditioning pipes just to flex out of the way slightly. You can just see the bottom there of the pipe, so yeah, I don't think it's going to be too tricky. I might just remove this AC sensor there so I don't damage it. That was too easy. Let's try the next one. Okay, they're nice and loose. I'm so lucky. So we've got a bracket just here onto the pipe, so that needs to come off. Let's get it over there. It's just catching on this spring clip. There we go. Oh, that's grim in there. Look at that. Okay. Right, so we are going to be getting into this plenum, I think it is, because it's obviously got a butterfly in there that we have to deal with. We're going to get in there and we probably have to clean it out, but look, if I just show you, there's not nice stuff in there. Here's the kit you get from Allisport. It's just made up of 4 blanking plates really, nothing too scientific. The only detail worth well, I'll mention a few details. So obviously you get new O-rings, which is good, obviously, to blank that off because the other one was a bit slippery. On these ones, they've actually got a notch in them. I don't know if you can see that little notch, and that corresponds to a notch on the bottom, which, yeah, you can just see is on the outside back edge. So we're going to use the same bolts that we used before, that we removed. So I've got my little notch here on the outside. I can just see down there where the notch is. Get that one started. That is literally it. Make sure I've got my notch in the right place. So just on this back side is where the notch is. So access to that one was super easy. So on the right hand side of the vehicle, here is the plate we have to get off. Now you can just see that is going to be a tricky one to get to in there. So this plastic cover comes out, it's just got a few clips around the bottom. Easiest way to get to them is to take your airbox lid off, but I just used this pick tool to get to the clips and then it came off. That meant I had really good access to the bolt at the bottom, which was slightly tricky. Got it. Bottom's off. We've got another little bracket here. Again, it's just in plastic, so it shouldn't be too tough. So that comes out. These clips, you can take those off. There's no need for them to be on there, but they just get right in the way. Look. So the bit will fit, no problem, but yeah, it should be okay. Let's try that. There we go. Oh, that's nice and loose as well. Again, these go into plastic, so they shouldn't be hard to get out. Right, let's put that back on. I don't want anything falling in there. Now the next one at the bottom is tricky, but I've got another little tool I can use. Let's try this. Now, it's plastic, so it should not be tight. Just need to get it in. Yeah, okay, we're in. There we go. Don't drop it. Oh, yes. Okay, and the top one. There we go. Ooh, just as filthy. I mean, that is coked up. Check that out. Is that getting out on camera? I hope so, because that is rough. Let's get the blanking plate on the bottom here. There's not a notch that I can see, so I'm not too worried. There is our plate down there. Just going to do those up now. And we're going to pull, there's a retaining clip in here that pulls this intake box away from the butterfly housing. There you go. We've just got one bolt, which is just here. Okay, big bolt. Right, and in here, you'll see, is our butterfly. And we need to remove that. So this needs to come out, and we need to remove that butterfly on there. So it's free flow the whole time. Now, I've taken that bolt out of there as well, and that just gives us the ability to move that around a bit, because I need to take 4 torque screws out of here to remove the actuator there. So that's the actuator. So I've drilled 4 holes in there, and you can, well, you might not be able to, there's a steel pin just there. Now that's weakened this housing, so I should be able to pull that off and then pull the pin out. Oh, that makes the job a whole lot easier. Look at that. Jesus Christ, that is rough in there. Okay, oh, this is disgusting. I'm going to go in there in the camera in a bit, but let's get this out. So, I really want you to see what's in here. I've managed to wriggle that out, so I did just be careful when you're wriggling it out of this connector here, but we've got a lot of gunk, and I want to get rid of all that before we start reassembling it. I'd like to do a better job, but I don't have this. Anyway, we'll get it cleaned up, and then we're going to get that out. So we've got these 2 pieces of the butterfly cut out with the reciprocating saw, and now we just have the pin, and that should poke out. Great. It's no longer airtight, so this piece here, we've got to block that with something. I've taken Lars off a very important job here that pays money for Allisport, and asked him to make me a little bung, which he's very kindly going to do, because I've ruined this, and we need to bung it. Maybe this should be an additional part that you get with the EGR blanking kit that Allisport provide. I think we could have just modified it slightly. So I've got a blanking plug in there now, so we are good to go. So we can now start putting everything together. Now, because that was easier than I thought to remove that part, that's coming off again, and we're going to give that a clean. It deserves it, and it needs it. This should locate in here again. There we go. Evenly we want it, which is not that there. Put that housing back on. While there was probably a less destructive way to do what we just did, I don't mind doing it that way, because, you know, as long as I understand the science behind what we're doing and how we're doing it, and I'm confident that it's all good, that's fine. So the plug can't come out because this actuator is back in place and holding it in position. I'm going to actually take off this again, because this is where our blanking plugs go, look. And it's much easier to do it like that. Now, do I leave them dirty, or shall I clean them up? You're never going to see them because they're under the engine cover. That's on. Let's get our housing back on. Right, so I've put my spring clip back in position, so when I push down, it will lock. I don't want it to lock yet, so let's just make sure it doesn't lock. Pop it on. I'm not going to lock it completely, I'm going to get my clip on first. There we go. Then lock it. Now we reconnect this. There we go. So we've got connector. That's good. Let's put our turbo, nice new turbo intake pipe on. That's nice and tight. Reconnect our mass airflow sensor. They're connected. That's on. Reconnect. Connected. These are all nice and tight. Okay, we're all connected. Let's see what she does. Okay, we're started all right. Very little smoke, wow. Okay,